Hi guys, this is a out action, which we call AI agent action for single store database. What we plan to show in this demo is essentially three scenarios, which are quite common at clients that we manage the database at. With me is my Texana, who is on our pre-sale technical side, Karthik Raj, who's on our DBA side, senior DBA. Then we have Siddharth, who is our Monboss expert, and Abhinav, who's also our Monboss expert. Siddharth will be driving the screen for me because we need a lot of Monboss skills, obviously, in this demo, and Siddharth has those. And I will be just going through the scenarios to show this. So Siddharth, can we log in, please, to the dashboard? So the first thing you will see is a bunch of mons, as we call them, show up on the dashboard. So on the left side is the cluster status in mon, which is showing in this cluster, we have a master aggregator node and then 3 leaf nodes, and that's what this is showing. The green color and the bars at the height of up means that everything is up and the cluster is running just fine. If we scroll down a little bit, we'll see the long running queries. And if it's close to 0, that means queries are not taking a long time. And that's what this mon is showing. Basically, this particular chart should look like that. Below that, let's scroll down again, Siddharth, please. Thank you. We have the CPU usage. So as we see, it's hovering around 10 to 20%. That's what it is. Then we have the disk usage, same thing. It's pretty stable. And then going below that, we have the RAM usage, which I believe is percentage. Correct me if I'm wrong, Siddharth, but I believe this is percentage,
yes,
correct?
Yes.
It's hovering around 40% RAM usage for a couple of leaf nodes, and the master is around 12, and then the other one is less than 12. This by itself gives a lot of ideas because we can consistently see that leaf number 1 is using less RAM than the other 2 leaf nodes, and the disk as well is actually using more CPU. So that's interesting and worthy of consideration itself. But the reason I'm pointing this out is if things get very skewed, just by these mons, you will probably notice other things. So for example, if the database skew ratio is not good, one of the leaf nodes would probably be spiking, either in the memory, CPU, or both, or maybe the file usage as well, because more data is going there as well. As you see, the bar charts keep changing in heights because this is a dynamic chart that updates, I think, every 10 or so right now in our refresh frequency. So let's just go up. What we are going to show is essentially 3 scenarios. I think the top charts are the most relevant for them. You do see a little rectangle on the top right side that says logs. That's right now. We deleted it on purpose just to show you the latest logs. So we deleted the historical logs from here. So as things happen, you will see logs show up. So this is like a reporting chart on the top right side. It's not a graphical, but it will show the actual from Monboss. So the first scenario that we're going to show is going to go ahead and bring down one of the master aggregator, one of those 2. So this is a terminal, and currently, if you look at the status, we show the status first, Siddharth, of the list nodes command. Yes, so everything is up and running. So we're going to bring down one of those, and that might happen in real life because you've noticed it happening. Monboss will detect this and will bring it back up. That's the first scenario. So it's not just monitoring. We'll show you what happens on the monitoring side, but also that it will bring the node back up. So before we show the dashboard, Siddharth, can we show that the node is down again by the list nodes? So as you can see, that it says false for the aggregator. It has been stopped. And if we go back to the dashboard, it turned red and it says down, and you see the logs starting to show up. And it's the most important thing to notice here. It says vPlan completed, executing the plan. What's happened is Monboss has noticed. Obviously, that's why the dashboard updated. But it doesn't stop there. It is actually going to try and fix the situation. And that we go beyond regular monitoring tools. Typical monitoring tools would stop at that, and your leaf nodes would still be red and down. And as you can see, it turned in and went back up. And that's basically the AI agent inside the Monboss that started up, where the aggregator was down, and it started it back up, and that's why it's turned green. Is pretty much the same. We're going to bring down the node, but we're going to bring it down in a way that it cannot be brought back up by command. Okay. And what that is going to do is essentially require a reboot. So what Monboss does is, because it's AI and it has a planner inside it, it can go through multiple steps to take care of things. So if, for example, a simple command is not going to restart it, then it has to fall through to the more drastic command, which is restart the VM itself, and that's going to happen. So right now, everything is running back again. We're going to kill a node, and we have short-circuited the command so that you can't just bring it back up. easily without rebooting the VM. So Monboss is first obviously going to try to do that, which is bring it back up by running the command. It would not work. And then what it would do is actually it would go to the second part of the plan, which is essentially restart the VM itself to bring the node back up. So as again, it has turned red, and the aggregator node is down again. And now on the right side, we will see that it failed to restart the node. So it tried what it did the first time, it didn't work. So it says, okay, it has been trained or has been told that the alternative to that is to restart the VM, and that's what it's doing now. So in a little bit of time, as you can see, it's going to run that command, and the node will come back up once the VM restarts. So can we go back to the terminal and see if the node is now up or not? Yeah, so you can see it's back up online. It will take about 10 seconds for the dashboard to update, and the nodes would show that everything is green again. So as we can see, everything has turned green, and basically what has happened in this scenario is that it has restarted the node. The charts are back up, everything is green, and the plan has succeeded. So this is two scenarios of essentially keeping the stable and at the highest availability possible without human intervention. And as the alerts that we're showing you here on the dashboard, they're also available to you via emails, and it can send the same alerts on Slack, WhatsApp, depending upon our customer requirements. So you can see, you'll get an alert that says there is something wrong, and you'll see Monboss sending an alert saying that I'm going to fix it. And if it works out, then they will send you another alert saying that everything worked out and back on. You may be out for a dinner and you might get scared for a sec, but hopefully you don't have to stop eating your dinner if Monboss fixes it. Now the third thing that we're going to show is a long-running query. So as you can see, so let's scroll down a little bit. Actually, we don't need to scroll down. Yeah, the long-running query. So we're going to start a long-running query, and Karthik's actually going to do that for us from his machine. And what's going to happen is when the query spikes up, the CPU, memory, and the chart that says long-running queries and how long they will spike up. Now, can we start that, Karthik, when I explain the scenario? Because it's going to take about 60 seconds to do that. This is basically a command that runs a long-running query on the cluster. And it's going to take about 60 seconds. And the reason it takes 60 seconds is because you want to detect a long-running query only after a certain amount of time has passed, because the long-running query means it's running for a long time. So in this case, 60 seconds is what we're deeming. In your real-life scenario in production, it might be a few minutes even, but for demo purposes, we've reduced it to 60 seconds. And then what you will start noticing now is look at the cluster node CPU usage. It has spiked up to 90%. So this query is definitely having an impact on the boxes. If you scroll down a little bit more, we'll probably see the memory also spike up. It's started increasing, and the CPU is definitely at the limit, because anything above, I think, 85% would probably be the limit. And the other charts will show the same thing. At some point, we will detect a long-running query. And what's going to happen is essentially around that 60-second mark or so, as you can see, the timing chart is now spiking up, and this means the query has started taking a long amount of time. And Monboss has started noticing it. And as you can see on the right side, it's saying, hey, I found one query that's been running for longer than 60 seconds. It told you which query it is, and it's now started taking action. So far, I showed you the monitoring side, CPU spiking up in the query. But now Monboss has started acting up on this, because we have this instance trained for long-running queries as well. And it will basically, in this case, terminate that query to bring the cluster back to a stable state. And as you can see over here, CPU has come down from the 90% that we were seeing before. Now it's 20%, 2%, as it should be. The RAM is stable, and the disk usage is stable. And if you just scroll back up a little bit, you will see the chart has gone down. The query runtimes is back to close to 0, which means there is no more a long-running query. The little spike that you see in the long-running query charts indicates that one query was long-running. And if we hover over it, by the way, all the charts are dynamic. If we hover over it, it will give you the timestamp when this happened and how many long queries were there at that instance. Right now it's 1 because it's a demo. It could be 2, 3, 4, and the spikes will obviously show that as well. So pretty much this is the end of our demo. The point of the demo was to show Monboss working on a single cluster. I'm not saying it can handle everything, as it's AI. AI doesn't handle 100% of the use cases. If you go to ChatGPT, it will It will give you answers, not 100% accurate answers, and that's exactly why there's a warning there. Same thing with Monboss. We're not claiming it will solve every issue under the sun for the database, but run-of-the-mill issues, everyday issues, monitoring the database, typical stuff like nodes hanging or aggregators having issues, CPU, memory, disk, long-running queries, deadlocks, those things it will take care of. And our DBA team then, as we identify run-of-the-mill kind of issues, and if we are missing, let's say, either detectors or agents for them, we can train the AI agent to take care of those issues as well. So with time, if you have Monboss deployed, we can make it more and more intelligent. So hopefully it's handling maybe half of the issues at least, and that would drastically improve the quality of availability of your database. Because 50% improvement in availability by itself is a big deal. And also reduce outages and the quality of life for your applications that are calling this database. What makes Monboss unique, essentially, is the AI capabilities. So it doesn't come under MonOps. So basically, it's managing and monitoring the environment, but it goes beyond that by being operational as well to take actions to fix issues. So like I tell people many times, there are things that happen. For example, in real life, let's hope it never happens to anybody, but let's say somebody's house burned down. And the worst thing that can happen, you don't even know about it. You had no monitoring in place. Obviously, that's pretty bad. Fire brigade didn't show up, nothing happened. Second thing is you had detectors, like we have security alarms, and they went off and said house is on fire. Now that's good, the fire brigade will get dispatched, but you'll get a lot of damage because humans will have to come in and take out the fire. I mean, maybe half the house will still burn down. It's better to know your house is on fire, something will happen, but it's not that great. And that's where most monitoring tools are at. They will just inform. But the third thing, as you know, in most countries now, there's regulation for sprinklers. You should not just detect the fire, but the sprinkler should go off and turn the fire off before it spreads to the rest of the house. And that's Monboss, basically. We detect it, and we try to resolve it. That said, sometimes clients are more comfortable with humans doing the actions right away, not Monboss. In that case, it can work in advisory mode. So all the logs that you're seeing on the right-hand side, print commands as well. So if you put it in advisory mode, it will detect it and tell you exactly what command to issue to fix it. But it won't run the command itself. So if you want, hey, it's my production systems and I don't want an AI to be running the commands, that's okay. If you're an admin or a database guy or whoever, and you have certain systems under you and something went wrong, and if the AI tells you exactly the command to fix it, even that is great. And then with time, as you trust it more and more, so let's say every time it gave you the command, it was almost correct, then maybe you put it in the autonomous mode where it will fix it for you by itself. Which of those three modes you run it under, whether it's pure monitoring, whether it's advisory, or whether it's fully autonomous, is up to you. And it's a graded timeline. You initially monitor and put it in advisory mode, and eventually, as you trust the AI more, you put it in autonomous mode to fix things for you. Anyway, that's the end of our demo. Thank you guys for making time for us. Thank you to my great team as well, to Siddharth, who prepared this demo under pretty strict timelines and has been helping us run it. Karthik, whose advice obviously with single store was absolutely required for us to do this. Ankit, who coordinated everything, and Abhinav as well, who's on our Monboss team. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good one.
Yep, thank you.